What's going on, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Judge Your Mama podcast, a podcast created as a space for women to connect and grow unapologetically as we navigate through womanhood and entrepreneurship. So today, y'all, I have a super special guest with me today by the name of Miss Kimberly Clark, better known as Coach Kimberly. She is the CEO and founder of Ask Kimberly Lifestyle. Kimberly's day-to-day can consist of coaching individuals to live purposefully with intention while leading consciously. Whether she's coaching women who desire more in life, entrepreneurs, facilitators at school conferences, nonprofits, or creating content to inspire and educate, she always aims to shift the heart and minds of whomever she encounters. And that is so, so true. Coach Kimberly has also served as a coach for me in a very, very pivotal journey, a part of my journey as I was trying to figure out how to make this shift from working as this full-time entrepreneur and really getting into coaching again. And you all know, I've shared before how I've dabbled in coaching years ago. And so the fear of trying to jump back into it was a bit much. But Coach Kimberly, in her own unique and special way, has loved on me, has called me out to be like, look, Angel, you're tripping, you're playing, and make a choice and then go with it, right? Embrace yourself in that. And so I'm going to stop talking because I need y'all to get to know Coach Kimberly and all about who she is. So Coach Kimberly, welcome to the Judge Your Mama podcast.
Thank you so much, Queen. I am elated to be here in your presence and just talk to your listeners and, chat about different things. Thank you so much for that introduction. It's weird. Anytime you hear your bio over and over, it sounds like something for the first time and you're like, dang, I'm all of that. But, that is wonderful. And I'm just super excited to be here.
Awesome. So, Coach Kimberly, I have a question, a little icebreaker question, something to kind of get us going. So, the question is, if you could describe the year 2022, right? How has that been for you? And I need you to describe it as a song.
Got it. Got it. I love that. I really like how you chose that because that is something that I have in my lifestyle planner. Go Get 'em is for individuals to choose a song every day to start your day. So this is something that I stand in and I believe in. And I'm going to give you two songs. One that I've had from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, but I kind of put in something else towards the end. The first one is Let's Go by Calvin Harris and Neo. And it is such a vibe song. It really gets you going for your day, no matter what happens during the day. If you have a shift, think back to that song, and it's just so empowering. So that's my first song that I really love.
Okay.
The second song, which I adopted probably about a month ago, and I will be taking that into 2023, but it's Selena Gomez and it's Look at Her Now. Well, if you haven't heard it, you got to listen to it. It's such a woman empowering song you may start from the bottom, but you can elevate to the top. And a lot of what I talk about is your life path takes you on journeys, and every journey won't be sunshine. It's not going to be beautiful. And sometimes that block is a blessing. So when you think you're praying for something and it doesn't come to fruition, the universe is saying, no, girl, I got something else for you. So just be patient. And that song does that.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I got to check that out. Selena Gomez. Come on. Yes. All right.
Great song.
Awesome. Thank you for those. So We know that you're a working professional, you're an entrepreneur, and you've dabbled in a lot of different areas or a lot of different organizations, from schools to businesses, to a lot of different areas. But let's go back to the start, the beginning of Ask Kimberly Lifestyle, or maybe there was some other business that you started prior, but share with us, how did you get your start into entrepreneurship? Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
Ooh, those are some really good questions. And anytime I get asked that question, I always have to kind of revisit where I began. And I think I was always meant to be an entrepreneur. When I first became an entrepreneur, I had no idea anything about entrepreneurship. It wasn't something that, going to be dating myself, but it wasn't something that was talked about when I was growing up. Now it's more relevant. And I'm a woman, a young lady at that time who wears many hats. And I've always had this creative side to me. So I went through a journey of transition of where I wanted to be in my life. I don't believe in just doing one thing. I
Mhm.
believe in investing in yourself and going to school and getting those credentials and everything that you desire to do. So my entrepreneurship has transitioned. With that being said, my first business was when I was between 9 and, I would say, 12. I always had this passion for decorating and designing, and I changed my bedroom like every week. My parents would be like, please calm down, you know. And I took that, I was always into fashion,
Mhm.
and that was what I went to school for the first time.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, I did have a 9 to 5, but my first business was a balloon business. I was really good, as I said, putting baskets together. People were asking me to do parties. And my first business was called Creative Balloons with a K. And that evolved into an event planning business years later.
Mhm.
So I kind of transitioned and elevated and changed the name. And that name was called Dress Rehearsal. And it was spelled DREZ. So I believe that life is not a dress rehearsal, but the wedding planning was. So I was a wedding event producer. And just those journeys that you transition, you evolve, you see what works. I've always been the entrepreneur where every year I look at my business
Mhm.
and see if it was something I needed to stop,
Mhm.
move on, or evolve into something else. And that's what I've done up until Ask Kimberly Lifestyle.
Wow. Didn't know that. Did you know I have always loved creating and crafting and designing? I picked that up from my mom, who was always setting up for different events for friends or at church. And so I kind of picked that when I started like designing doing different things at church. I mean, it evolved into event planning and event decor. And when we moved to Georgia a year and a half ago, I was praying like, do I need to let this go? Let this just stay, in the past, because I was wanting to do something a little more, hands-on with people, like working really closely with people. And you could do that in some regard, but it's based on what they need and what they want. And then once you're done with that event, you're on to the next. So yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's it. Wow. We gotta talk about a couple things. So yeah, and you started when you were between the ages of 9 to 12. Well, that's a long time to
Yes.
know. Was anyone in your family ever an entrepreneur or start any businesses?
My oldest sister, not when I was that age, but as we got older, her and her husband started a business. If you remember swap meets, if you guys
Yeah.
remember swap meets, they used to sell baby clothes at
Oh,
swap meet. So I kind of helped them out a little bit there. But as I said, back then when we were growing up, entrepreneurship wasn't talked about now. That wasn't something that was taught in school
right.
to, go out and start your own business. I really didn't know anyone during school who maybe had their own business.
Mhm.
And it's something that is more prevalent now, you know.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all over the place now. And
Yes.
in that, right, I think it's so important that we always share, with people on your entrepreneurial journey, like it's not easy,
No.
right?
No.
And it's not easy. It takes work and it takes a lot of patience, especially when you have this really creative part of you
Mhm.
that wants to express itself in so many ways, right? And then you
Yes.
have to say, no, I need to choose this path to figure out what's on that path for me. And then if
Mhm.
I go to the next, then that's fine. But let me focus my energy in this space. And so I want to know, how did you make the transition from your events business to now Ask Kimberly Lifestyle?
Yeah. So, as I said, I've had a 9 to 5 when I started entrepreneurship. I have a degree in merchandising and interior design, and I did a lot of traveling. I was a buyer for a well known organization and did a lot of traveling and moving around, living out of suitcases in the beginning. And when I had time, I would still do my business. Well, once I kind of pulled back from the 9 to 5 and started really developing my event producing company, I contracted for a lot of hotels, for a lot of caterers that will hire me to come in and be the planner for that day. So when you are doing that, you become, that's when you really were a coach back then, when coaching wasn't a thing,
Mhm.
because you become the individual's mentor. You get to know their families. You get to know, the bridesmaids who are going to be the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. You become part of their family, because a lot of events I worked on for over a year. So you really get to know them and you learn so much about them.
Yeah.
And years of doing that and giving advice and talking to people, and people will start saying to me, you know what? You should kind of be a counselor. You should go into psychology. You're really good at it. And eventually, I was getting calls to write for like Essence and wedding blogs and different things like that. And people will ask me questions all the time. So that's where the Ask Kimberly
Oh.
surfaced from. So I slowly was positioning myself from the event producing dress rehearsal into Ask Kimberly. And because I was a lifestyle expert, I added the lifestyle to it. And I just became like, okay, I want to go more with this. So that's when I decided to go back to school and get my psychology degree. So this is one thing I said, I really truly believe in investing yourself. So if you are a entrepreneur or a business owner, or you want to get into being an entrepreneur, you have to do the work to make yourself better.
Mhm.
And that is something that I've always done, is invest in myself, take it to the next level, and slowly position into Ask Kimberly Lifestyle. That's how it evolved.
Wow, I love that. And you said something so key, right? To invest in yourself and how important it is to invest in yourself. I've shared on previous podcast episodes how important it is to invest in a coach, a mentor, a course, a book, anything that will cause you to be better than you were last year.
Yeah,
Anything that will expand your knowledge base or even just your reach, right? There are some people who join communities or coaching programs just to connect with other like-minded individuals, right? Whereas some free communities, it could be a little diluted. That doesn't mean that it's bad,
mhm,
but when you really invest in certain spaces and in certain coaches, it just can change the trajectory of your life for
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. What you put out and what you put time and effort into, you're going to get back. It
Mhm.
may not come back that day, it may not come back a month later, But there's three things that I've always believed in and how I walk my pathway in life is community, connection, and just evolving into others with leading with love. That is how I operate.
Wow, I love that. So the inspiration behind Ask Kimberly Lifestyle has been people kind of dropping those little hints at the next thing. Did you fully accept that next part of your journey in creating this brand? Or was there any hesitation? Or did you go into this space saying, I'm gonna own it. I have this experience, I've done this work. And so let me just go with it. Or was there any resistance? Were you ever unsure?
Now, sometimes I think we are pushed into certain things because sometimes we get comfortable in where we are. And at that time, I was doing, weddings and events on the weekend, but I had a big contract where I was a public relations and event director for a big real estate nonprofit in Los Angeles and was doing major events, working with a lot of people. And then the recession hit 2008 and things started to shift. And that led me to step out, to, take a leap and really just go full force. And once again, I went back to school, started really evolving into working with a lot of couples who, wanted to get married. And let me just share this with you. One of the things that really helped me shift is listening to some of the couples that would come to me who wanted to get married. And at that time, my business was called Dress Rehearsal. Once again, life isn't a dress rehearsal, but the wedding planning is. And I started to really speak with some of the couples and try to position them that, look, this is one big party. I wasn't that planner who, when people will just want to spend, like they had the budget, and it's like, well, no, let's take some of that money and put it into something else because this is one day. When this day is over, life begins.
Mhm.
You and your husband are going to have to sit down and come to terms with a lot of things. So don't get married going into debt or trying to have this party for other people.
Mhm.
That was really important to me. And I started to see that so much. And that's where I found myself being more of the counselor, the coaching, and getting them to understand this is one day.
Mhm.
This is one day. You're planning for your wedding, but are you planning for your marriage?
Mm. Mhm.
That was important to me. I wanted to do weddings where people will have longevity and stay together. And some people, will get into arguments and fighting over just very minute things.
Mhm.
That really helped me transition into wanting to be a life coach
Wow.
because I wanted to instill in women that, when we grew up as children, that was something, oh, get married, the white picket fence, have babies. But nothing was taught about finances,
Yeah.
about communication, none of that. And that really helped me to evolve into building Ask Kimberly Lifestyle because I
Mhm.
wanted to show women that they didn't need a man to value them.
Mhm.
You have to
Mhm.
value yourself first. And you know me, I call everybody queen
Yeah.
because I believe sometimes our crowns are tilted. And
Yeah.
I have to remind women that no, you're a queen.
Mhm.
So you stand up in all your glory. You have to set the tone for how people treat you.
Mhm.
And it starts with self. It starts with self. So that was a big aha moment for me.
Wow. You said a whole lot there. I just want to give everybody kind of a minute to y'all hit pause and rewind, okay? Because that you said a whole lot there. There were two points that I wanted to mention to highlight. One, the way you conducted your events planning business and how you coached and guided those couples on that journey, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and anytime people are setting out to do business, of course, you want to have a lucrative business, you want to make money. But to set out and say, I want to work with people who want longevity in their marriage, and people who and help them to, you know, discover the purpose and the why in their marriage, and make sure like that's the forefront, and making sure that they invest in that more so than they invest in the actual one day event is big, because people can come through and have these reflection moments with you and then be like, you know what, I'm not getting married today. Or maybe we're going to pause, and that could affect some sort of your bottom line in your business, depending on how it's set up. And so that's thinking bigger than yourself and being so selfless as a business owner to say, no, I care more about you. I can only imagine what your full program is like. And I'm going to give her a minute to share more of the details about that, but that speaks to you as a human being, that speaks to you as a woman, because then you even spoke on just really how we miss some of the foundational pieces that we need in place as a woman, even before we decide to get married, right? If that's what we want to do. You know, there are some solid pieces that need to be in place, just in life general, right? Thank you for doing the work inwardly so that you can be in the place that you are right now to share and to nurture women like myself on this journey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You are more than welcome.
Thank you.
I always tell women, I'm big on networking and connecting and all of that. So when the pandemic hit, it was a shift because my business was networking, it was being out and about. But you have to really surround yourself around individuals that support you and elevate you and want to see you win. And a lot of women, we have a problem doing that. Like, it's okay if you shine one day and I shine the next week. Like, I'm going to be happy for my friend. So really look at your circle, because everybody in your circle is not your friend. If somebody's not clapping for you,
come on now,
when you're winning and you're elevating yourself and you're doing things, that's a problem. So we have to remember, and this is something I always think about, I have good days and I have bad days. I'm human. But when you rise, I'm bringing somebody else with me. I want to instill confidence into individuals that you can do anything that you want to do in life, whatever you desire to do. And today, this time that we are in is the most opportune time, if you've ever thought about entrepreneurship, is to get in there. Get in there and develop. And I've even told you this, like, sometimes we don't know what our real vision is.
Yeah.
And when you see things in people, you like, no, that's what you should be doing. You're really good at that. Take that and move it. If you have a passion for it and you enjoy it, continue it. Just level it up into another way and move forward. And that's what a good coach does. Take what you're good at and elevate you. Gives you the tools, the resources on how to move forward. That's important. That's important. So any lady who is listening to this, really, when you elevate someone else, because your blessings will come full fold.
I can run on and see what the end gonna be off of that right there. I love that. So all of that, all of that. Let's just take a minute. I need to plug this really quick. If you are watching this by YouTube or listening to this on any of the streaming platforms, all of this that you are experiencing right now with Coach Kimberly, like, is real life.
Mhm.
And I just need y'all to like know that it doesn't stop here. It doesn't have to stop here. Coach Kimberly has an amazing, amazing, amazing brand coaching program. I believe it's called Level Up. And Coach Kimberly, can you share the details for our people and let them know how they can work with you or learn more about you?
Absolutely. So I have a wonderful opportunity, as Angel says. It is called Level Up Brand Coaching. And it is 6 sessions for 1 hour that you can work with me. And we're going to sit down and really develop where you are and where you have a desire to go in 2023. If you want to start a business, if you want to go back to school, if you want to start a product, if you want to do an online course, we're going to sit down and I will show you the framework, the systems, and the processes and help you maneuver and getting to the level up stage that you desire to go. So this program is normally $19.95, but you have a special code for the listeners that you can utilize. And for 6 sessions, 1 hour each, you will pay $747.
Mm.
747. So that is like unheard
Yeah.
of me doing this. But I really believe at the end of the year, it's the best time to reposition yourself,
Mhm.
to change some of the direction that maybe you want to go. And investing in yourself is so important. Having a coach and someone who can really guide you and give you that feedback is really good. And the other thing is with that, you will also get my journal planner that I will mail to you so you can document and just make notations. And then I will also give you access into my private Level Up group.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So do you want to tell them the code or?
The code is JYM for Judge Your Mama. I'll make sure that I have the link, the exact link that you need to get access to this program. Y'all, you don't want to miss this, and you don't want to miss this. Thank you so much, Coach Kimberly, for just all of the gems and the wisdom that you've shared on today. I can't wait to see how you change the world in the
Oh,
next few years. I can't wait to see how many people, how many people's lives are changed because you decided to say yes.
thank
You
you.
decided to say yes
Thank you.
to the journey and the call and all of the things. Is there any last tidbits that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, let me just say this before I get into myself. I'm super proud of you and the platform that you have created for yourself. You are really making strides and instilling different things into your listeners. So continue, keep going. Don't let anything stop you. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank
And just, yeah, I'm so, so proud. But, I really want people to step up into their own. I want you to know that you are a queen, you are a king, and there's something bigger out there for you. There's something tremendous that you should be doing. And if you need assistance in discovering that, please reach out to me. Take part into the program that we have offered, especially for Angels listeners. And you can follow me on any social media platform. I'm listed everywhere on Instagram as Kimberly, on Facebook and YouTube, it's Ask Kimberly Lifestyle. So thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I just looking forward to see you doing great things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And yes, guys, I'll make sure that you have all access to all links to get to Coach Kimberly. Family, y'all, we leveling up out here. We
That's
leveling up
right.
out here, and it's time to get it done. Let's get it done in the new year, family. But y'all know I love y'all. And until next week, peace.